You could even be writing, as we start. So you could be writing this as a teacher, so it's ready to go. And then now you can see that the children are here. Oh, yes.
Right. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to the Schoolhouse with Miss Webster. I am Miss Webster, but for the purposes of today, you will just address me as Miss.
But for the purposes of today, slow it down. Okay. You are going too fast.
All right, no worries. Yes. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome to the Schoolhouse. My name is Miss Webster. But for the purpose of today, you will do well to address me simply as Miss. Now, traditionally, we would all be gathered in the one room, and if you wish to say something, you would put your hand up. However, you can see that the circumstances are a little different. Therefore, if you wish to communicate with me, you may do so via our chat room. Lovely. Now, what you are going to experience here today, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, is an 1850s classroom experience. Now, what this means is that the teaching methods and practices of the teachers are a little different to what some of the children listening in may be accustomed to. Therefore, I need to point out we are just playing pretend. So if I get a little strict, well, don't take it personally. Just play along and we will have fun. Yes? Good. Right, now, before we get into the lesson today, what you will need is a couple of items from your home. First of all, you are going to need a simple pen and nib. Now, if you do not have a pen and nib at home, a simple grey lead will suffice. And along with a writing tool, you will, of course, need something to write on. Now, I would personally prefer some lined paper, but plain paper will do. Now, for those children that do not have these tools with them here and now, I will give you 1 minute to fetch these items from around your home. Good. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Yes, James, you have arrived late, yes? To be early is on time, to be on time is late, and to be late, well, you don't want to suffer the consequences, do you, James? But luckily enough for you, I cannot give you a physical punishment here today. Lucky, but next time,
Next time what?
Next time, you will receive a physical form of punishment.
No, don't do the hitting. I kind of agree with that, but just go next time. That's it.
Need I say any more? Right. Now, I'm sure that you children are all now well equipped with the writing tools for today's class. But before we get into the writing element, I would first like to run through some basic school rules. So first of all, can I please ask you all to stand from your desk or table at home? Good, good. Right, now, ladies, I'm going to address you first. The way in which one would stand.
Ladies or girls? Girls.
Girls? You would like me to address them as girls?
Girls, yeah.
Girls, the way in which I would like you to stand is feet together. Standing nice and tall, yes, holding your head high, and your hands clasped together like this. Now, if you can't get it like I am showing you now, any variation of the such will do for now. Wonderful. Now, boys, the way in which you would stand, very similar, feet together, standing nice and tall, holding that head up high, but instead of holding your hands at the front here, I would rather you hold your hands behind your back. I would hope that everyone is standing correctly now. Yes? Wonderful. Now, of course, we are not standing today, so I please ask that you take a seat back at your desk or table. Now,
well, we were. You got them to stand. So instead of saying we're not standing today, now that you understand how, I want you to enter the classroom, you may sit. I think that's a better way to say it.
Wonderful. Now that you understand how to stand correctly, I would like you now to take a seat at your desk within your classroom. Right. Now, the correct way in which one would sit at a desk is feet together, sitting up nice and tall, head held high, and your hands in your laps. Now, you do not remove your hands from your laps unless I direct you otherwise. Now, the reason why we are sitting up nice and straight, well, there's two reasons for this. It allows for adequate breathing to take place, and therefore adequate breathing allows for the learning to happen. If you cannot breathe properly, you cannot possibly learn anything. Also, a little side note for the girls. Each and every one of you would have started corset training from a very early age. Now, I'm not going to get into corsets. You can ask your parents about that later, but essentially it would, well, restrict you from being able to slouch. Wonderful. So sitting up nice and straight, allow that breathing to occur and that learning to take place. Lovely.
James, do I see you slouching?
Yes. James, I see you slouching. Sit up straight, hands in laps. Good. Now, boys, an important note, when you enter upon any establishment, whether that be a store, the theatre, or my schoolhouse, you would do well to remove your hat. Now, that includes any of those modern-looking head warmers you boys seem to be fashioning nowadays. It is just simply a sign of respect to remove it. Now, ladies, of course, you can keep your day caps on, as it is a sign of respect.
Girls and boys.
Modesty for oneself.
Make sure it's girls and boys. We're aiming this at kids, so it can't be ladies and men.
Sure.
It's girls and boys. Yeah.
All right. No worries.
Sorry.
No, that's all right. Please tell me what you want.
Keep going.
Now that we are sitting appropriately. Here at school, traditionally, we do not allow boys and girls to sit next to one another. However, for the purposes of today, I will allow that to occur, seeing as you are in the comfort of your own home. But here at school, I am not a matchmaker. Your parents will find you a suitable suitor. I am here merely to educate. But please refrain from talking to one another, from calling out, or back-chatting. Yes, there will be severe consequences for anyone who does not listen to the school rules. You may see on the board behind me here, we have spare the rod and spoil the child. Now, does anyone at home know what this means? Yes, Sophia, good work. Yes, it does mean that. It simply means that if a child does something wrong, they will be punished. And as I have already showcased before, I do not need to demonstrate that here today, I hope. Now, of course, in turn, if a child does something good, you will be rewarded as such. Lovely. Now that we all understand the school rules, we shall get on to the lesson. Now, traditionally, we would have more time together and we would go through the 3 R's. That, of course, being reading, writing, and arithmetic. However, given the time constraints today, we are going to focus on writing. So, first of all, can everyone please pick up their pen and nib at home, or if you don't have a such tool, a grey lead, please. Lovely. Yes, you can have one there, Katrina. She forgot her pen and nib today. Now, the correct way in which we should hold our pen and nib. You're going to zoom in on me, I'm sure, with this particular element of the class, or do you want me to come closer to the camera?
Camera can.
Camera?
Yeah,
lovely.
just stay where you are. Don't move.
The way in which to hold your pen. But before we get into that, do I see people holding their pen and nib in their left hand? James? Yes, well, switch to your right hand immediately. Left-handers are, of course, sinners and cannot be trusted. Also, boys and girls, it makes common sense to be holding it in your right hand, as we are writing from left to right, and the ink is, of course, wet. If you were to write with your left hand, you would simply smudge your work. Unlike those modern pens that have accommodated for you left-handers, I will not see that pen and nib in your left hand. Understood?
So instead of calling the boys and girls sinners, could you instead say to be left-handed, the Latin for left-handed is sinistra.
Okay. Yep.
You all know what sinistra means. Just leave it at that.
A Latin word for anyone who writes their left hand is sinistra.
I'll Google it.
We all know what sinistra means, don't we? In simple terms, we cannot trust you left-handed, so switch to your right hand immediately, and I do not want to see anyone writing with their left hand at all during this class. Understood? Good. Now, the right way in which to hold your pen and nib is like so. So, the nib is the metal bit, the tip, the pointy bit at the end, and, well, the pen is the wooden bit. Now, we're going to be holding around that metal bit there, and the way to do such is to take your index finger, which is the one...
just use normal pens at home. So instead of saying the metal bit, your pen will have a metal bit, would you say closer to the nib?
Closer to the nib, which is the pointy bit at the end, yes? Now, the correct way in which to hold your pen and nib, or grey lead, is to take your index finger. Now, for those unaware of an index finger, it's the one located next to your thumb, yes? We're going to place that close to the tip of the nib and in line, yes? We are then going to take our thumb and our middle finger, which is the one located next to the index finger.
Which one is that?
I'm not going to put it up. It's a G-rated show, Victorina. I try to refrain from that. It's the one in the middle. 1, 2, 3. Yes?
It's the one in the middle.
This one here. This one. Right, with your index finger in line with the tip of the nib, we're going to take the thumb and the index finger and wrap it round like so. Very good. It seems that your teachers are teaching you well after all. Good. Now, the handwriting style we are going to be writing with today is what you see on the blackboard behind me here. But can anyone at home tell me what this particular style of handwriting is? Ah, yes, Jennifer. Yes, it is copperplate, or otherwise known as cursive, yes? As you can see, it is quite a fancy style of writing, and the letters are all joined. There is, of course, only one handwriting style. I do not want to see any variations today.
Can I just query something? Cursive is
different to copperplate?
Is not the same. Cursive just means it's joined together.
Right.
Copperplate is
the font style.
The font.
All right.
Yeah.
Good. Right. Well, we're going to be writing in copperplate. Now, copperplate requires cursive. And cursive means, in simple terms, letters that are joined together, as you can see demonstrated on my board. Now, the way in which we achieve copperplate is with the 3S rule. Now, is anyone familiar with the 3S rule? Perhaps some of our older children?
Not even. You should all be familiar.
You reckon?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I would expect...
Is that on the second board?
What's that?
The 3S rule.
No, it's not.
Okay.
I don't usually write it on my board, but I can.
Do you wanna?
Sure.
Just cause...
I've usually got it all there with me. Right. The 3S rule.
Yes.
The 3S rule. Sizing.
That's a very weird thing to write, sizing. It's just size, slope, shape. I don't think sizing is a word.
Really?
Yep. Size, slope, shape. That's it. Sorry.
No, that's all right.
I'm being real pedantic here.
Please do.
But you're a teacher, and if you get it wrong, we'll get shit caned.
Size. Slope. And, of course, shape. I'm just conscious of not bending down. Size, slope, and shape.
Let's have it all written on the board ready to go.
All right, no worries.
Because then you can just show it to them.
Great.
And explain to them the size.
Right.
There,
yeah. Yes. Right, the 3S rule when it comes to copperplate. The first one is size. Now, size indicates the capital and lowercase letters, or upper and lowercase letters. Now, the reason why I've asked for lined paper is it makes this rule
You
really
do this thing where you
simple.
go, I'll go really loud and really fast to begin the sentence. Now, the reason why everything needs to be slowed down heaps.
Sure.
Slowed down.
All right.
Yeah.
Size.
Because it'll pick up on the microphone and you'll get this boom on the microphone.
Okay.
So, I'm going to tell you what size means.
Of course. The 3S rule. The first one is size. Size indicates uppercase and lowercase letters. Now, the reason I have asked you to have lined paper...
Does it indicate uppercase and lowercase letters? What does it actually indicate? Size refers to the size of the uppercase and lowercase letters.
Yes, that's what I said, isn't it?
No, you said size indicates upper and lowercase letters. That's a very different thing.
Okay.
I'm being pedantic.
No, please do. Size is, it demonstrates the size of the uppercase and lowercase letters. Now, the reason I have asked for lined paper is to make this easier on you all. So uppercases like A for apple would simply take up 2 lines. Yes, do we see that? From top to bottom. But if we were to write with a lowercase a, we would only use 1 line. Like so. See the difference? Lovely.
Can I do a thing? Can I
Sure.
go? So, if you had, oh God, it's flimsy, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
If we didn't have 3 size rule, I'll just pop that there for a second, and you literally had just the words size, however you write them, slope, and shape here.
Yes.
Horror. And then you could just say, you could just use this example. What do we notice about size? The S is twice the size of our I. So our capitals take up 2 lines and our I only takes up 1 because it is a lowercase. So you can just use this slope. You can see the angle. Do you know what the angle is?
45-degree S-hook angle.
It's a 45-degree angle. Yeah. So you can show them.
Yeah.
That's what you'd write it heaps more neater than that.
Yes, and then shape.
If it's already there to go, and you go ding, ding, ding.
All right.
Sure. Because if you put them underneath each other, they blend, or they blend on the video.
All right, no worries.
So I'm thinking about what it looks like on the video.
Of course. It's so different to doing it in a classroom.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And not having everything there already on the walls for you. Right. Good. So the 3S rule with copper plate. The first one is size. Size is about the sizing in difference, the difference in sizing with your uppercase and lowercase letters. Now take, for example, the S in size. You may notice that it takes up 2 lines. Yes.
Lovely.
But the I, see, it only takes up 1 line. So it's important. That's why I've asked for that lined paper, that we showcase the difference with our lined paper in our uppercase and lowercase letters. Now that's the first of the 3 S's. The second is slope. Now what you may notice about the copper plate handwriting style is that it doesn't sit straight up and down, but rather on a slight angle. Now does anyone know what the angle might be? 45 degrees. Now, the way in which we achieve this is simply by the way that we hold our pen and nib. Now, instead of writing straight up and down on the paper, simply tilt your wrist, your hand, on a slight 45-degree angle, and that will allow for that slope to occur, which then in turn allows for that beautiful shape. to occur.
What does the shape refer to?
The shape refers to the 26 individual letters that make up the English alphabet, both in their uppercase and lowercase forms.
Does it? I thought it was the curliness of the letters.
Yes, because I'm getting to that. Yes.
Oh, okay, Karen.
Which is all about their individual characteristics, which is determined by the beautiful curves in the letters.
I'm such a naughty child. The three of us will be sitting at the table in front of you doing it as well.
That's all right, no worries. Now, as I stated with copper plate, you need to allow that cursive to occur. So that will naturally happen with the beautiful, swift and quick movements of the shapes of those letters. Yes, it's all about gliding across the paper. Well, now that we understand these 3 S rules and understand the need to join our letters or write in cursive, I would like you all to now pick up your pen and nib.
Oh, the pen's not painted.
No, it's not. See?
That would have been good.
Just flip it round. Now, I want you all to pick up your pen and nib, holding it in your right hand as stated before. If you are using a pen and nib and inkwell at home, you will simply dip that pen and nib into your inkwell. Now, you don't need to stab into the inkwell, just a nice dip, and you'll have your ink trapped on that nib. For everyone using a grey lead, you don't need to use that step. And what I would like you to do is I would like you to write your name and today's date at the top of the page. Now, today's date is Sunday, the 31st of May, 1854. Now, for anyone who is having trouble writing in this particular handwriting style and need help with a particular letter, please let me know via our chat room and I can demonstrate on the board for you all. And I can see that we have Barry who has joined us. Yes, you would like to know how to write an uppercase B. Well, Barry, the way in which one would do that is something like this, and it happens in 2 parts. The first part is like so.
No.
Really?
Yeah, it's not. The first part is the stabilizer. All the letters get stabilized first. So this is the stabilizer.
Right. So like
the B is 2 parts. 1.
Okay. Good. I obviously didn't get the right kind of training as you.
So every letter has a stabilizer. Well, we had Eloise, and she was.
We were made to learn it on our own. So I'm just going off what I know.
Stabilizer, and then the rest.
Right. So it happens in 2 parts, Barry. We have the stabilizer. Yes.
Well, I wouldn't call it a stabilizer. I've called it a stabilizer then.
All right. It happens in 2 parts. The first part is like so. Really simple. Create a downward line in a slight slope, yes, that 45-degree angle. And then the second part is, of course, we need to create that beautiful, bouncy B shape like so. Rather simple, straightforward. Good. Don't worry if you stuff it up at first. Don't worry if you make a mistake at first. It's all about practice. Practice makes perfect, yes? So just keep practicing there, Barry. Well done. Lovely. All right. So everyone now should have been able to write their, so I'll tune in if there's any other kids that ask for their letters. You should have all been able to write your name and today's date by now. Right, we're going to move on to the next sentence on the board. Perhaps whilst the kids are writing their name and today's date, I will write it on my board. It will be...
Q was always a bitch. I never knew how to do Q.
All that glitters is not gold. Seems that the student is teaching the teacher.
I never knew X either. Q and X. I never wrote them.
Now, children, it is really important that when you are practicing your copper plate, that you are taking care and time with your work. I don't want to see any spelling mistakes. I mean, there shouldn't be any with your name and today's date, something simple like that. But I also don't want to see
what's going on the end.
I know, I didn't get it right.
Yeah.
You want to make sure that there are no splotches or smudges and that you have no inconsistencies in your ink. It's all about those quick and swift movements, gliding across the paper. One dip in the inkwell should get you 2 to 3 lines of writing at best. But of course, if you find that you're running out of ink, then please go ahead and dip it back into that inkwell. For those of you using your grey lead, it should be pretty simple to manipulate the grey lead. Of course, you want to make sure that you're all writing at the same pace as well. We don't have a lot of time together, and therefore we need you to be working at the same pace so that we can move on as quickly as possible.
I wonder if we can move it up a bit.
Sure.
Oh, the worst. I hate it when it does that. Keep going, keep going.
Lovely. Now, you may have seen a sentence I've written on the board. All that glitters is not gold. Now, does anyone know what this particular phrase or sentence means?
What is that? I've never seen that. Is that new?
All that glitters is not gold.
No, I know what it is, but it's not one of the Southern Hill ones.
Is it not? It is during my time.
It's not one of the ones up on the board, so...
Would you rather me not do that one then?
No, I just wonder how old it is, and can I Google it for a second?
Certainly can.
What does it actually mean?
All the glitters is not gold. That just because of its beautiful outward appearance, whether that be an object or a person, isn't a true indicator of its true nature. So, for example, you've got fool's gold is more of a modern saying that just because it looks like gold doesn't necessarily mean that it is. And what this is teaching the kids is about...
Okay, it's 13th century. Yeah, that's called William Shakespeare. Yep.
It's about teaching the students, the children, about making decisions on their own because they are going to enter into adulthood, and I have this big spiel about how they're going to enter into the workforce and become parents.
Instead of writing it, I wonder if it's already on the board.
Yes.
And we just peel the paper off.
Oh, yes.
So we literally have a piece of card that's here. So I just take it off. Here's my next thing.
Right. Yes.
I wonder,
instead of spending the time writing it down.
Yeah, and I can just go and pick up some black paper.
Yeah, that'd be great.
It's literally just glue tacked on.
Yeah, great. All right, let's do that. Fantastic. All right. Great.
Okay, keep going. Keep going.
Right. Yes. So this is particularly important for you, our youth, as you are going to leave us very shortly. The average age for the boys.
Fast. Slow down.
The average age would be around the age of 9 for the boys, as this will be the age which you can enter into the mines with your father.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And for the girls, well, it's just dependent, really. See, girls, you are going to become women at some point in your life, anywhere between the ages of 10 to 14. At such time, your parents are going to find you a suitable suitor, that being a husband. You are going to be married. And by the age of 14, boys and girls, you will all be married. And you will have had or will be having your first, second, or possibly even your third child by this stage. So you're going to become parents. And this means...
It's a bit much. It's a bit much.
Oh, but the kids get all that. Oh.
1, 2, 3, 7 children. You could just count the children. Young John, I could see you're going to have 7 children. Mary, 7 children.
So pick them out. Yes.
Perhaps you, Tabitha, have 1. And perhaps you, Mary, have 11.
Yeah, I can do that. For sure.
Something. Instead of telling them what might happen, give it to them.
Sure.
I'm telling you, this is what's going to happen. Mary, you're going to have 11 children. I can tell. And now you're a busy mother.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what you're going to say next.
Sure.
Yeah, go on.
So by the age of 14, you will be married and having children. So James, you might have 1, and Samantha, you could have 7. And hopefully you are prosperous in that area of your life and you have 20. That is, of course, not mentioning that you may lose a child or 2.
No. Don't say the words lose a child. I think it's a bit horrific. It's true, but we are marketing this to kids, assuming they make it through to their 2nd year. If that's it.
Okay, sure.
What does that mean, Mum? And the mums can go.
All right.
Assuming they make it to the age of 2.
And if you're lucky enough, you might have 20. That is, of course, assuming your children all make it to the age of 2.
Move on.
Right.
Yep.
Now, this is important. You're going to make decisions for you and your children. So what I would like you to do is I would like you to copy this from the board onto
the
your paper.
original wording of that phrase is glisters. All that glisters is not gold. Oh no, glitter's fine.
Sure.
Shakespeare said glisters, and the poet John Drysdale in 1687 said glitters. Carry on.
Great. I'm just going off what I picked up from the Hill too. So yeah.
What about those things that are they still there? Those bits of paper that are written up on the board?
So they've got manners maketh the man, and cleanliness is next to godliness.
Yeah.
Children are to be seen and not heard.
Yeah.
Yes, they've got those ones.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
No, that's fine.
Yeah.
I know this chalk up my nose.
Okay. Yeah. There's tissues behind you.
No, it's all good.
Right. So please copy that down. If you have any trouble with any of the particular letters, let me know and I'll help you there. Lovely.
Perhaps our parents can help.
Perhaps, yes, parents, if you are with your children at this time, have a go yourself. But if your child gets stuck, please give them a hand. Otherwise, let me know via our chat room there and I will assist you in whatever way I can. Lovely, lovely, lovely.
So what you do need to say at the beginning, hi, my name is Miss Webster. Welcome to Love Ballarat. And what I'm going to be doing today is teaching you an 1850s classroom. So this is how it's going to be run. And now we're going to begin. So we do need that little bit at the beginning as well.
All right, no worries.
And at the end, it will be a very similar format. Keep going.
Okay. And you want me to talk about the...
Obviously, I'll play this. I'll give you the link to this and you can watch it. So we're now at the 20-minute mark.
Great.
And I've stopped you 50 times.
That's a lot of fluffing. Yeah. Right. So then what I would do with my class is after writing that one down, we would then move on to our final sentence. Because usually this is about the 20-minute mark when I've spoken with kids. And usually it would be one thing I've enjoyed at Sovereign Hill, but as opposed to I'm going to do one thing I've enjoyed whilst being at home. I think it's important to end on a positive note, given the current circumstances. So please write down one thing I've enjoyed whilst being at home. And if you would like to share that with me, Miss Webster, you can do via our chat room. I'd love to know what you have enjoyed during this time. For me, it has been the modern form of communication and being able to connect with my family and friends. So please take that time, write that down, and let me know in the chat room what you have enjoyed. So I do that with them. Just something nice they can end on. Now, what's going to happen is that I would traditionally grade your work at this particular section of the class. You keep doing
this thing where you go, traditionally, grade your work. Now, the next thing that is going to happen is traditionally, I would grade your work. However, slow it right down and then you can think about each word that comes out of my mouth. So it's that kind of, it's a play school formula.
Sure.
Without being, what's that word? You're not patronising.
Okay.
Good morning, boys and girls. However, I've still got that, I'm still going that slowly, but my tone is different. So you are going to pay attention. Are you paying attention? Do I have to send you outside?
Yes.
You know, it's that. So you still got the tone, but make sure you don't go,
okay.
Because you do. You keep starting, and it's nerves, a little bit of nerves there.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, just slow it down.
Sure. Now, what's going to happen in this next section of the class? Traditionally, we would be in the same room and I would grade your work at my desk. However, we don't have that capability today. But if you have access to a modern picture taker, well, then perhaps you might like to send your work through via our chat room and I can have a look at it and I can give you some feedback virtually. Now, we are about to dismiss the class for the day as I have kept you long enough. But what would happen now is that I would serve out some times tables. You would go home this evening and you would learn them and you would have them ready to recite for the class tomorrow. Now, times tables happen as such. For our 4 to 5-year-olds, you will learn your 0 times tables. And of course, here at the schoolhouse, we learn up to the multiplication of 24. Our 6 to 7-year-olds.
Up to 17. Oh, you should know. By grade 6, you should know your 17 times tables.
Really?
Yeah. So we'll do them together. We're going to do them together now.
Okay.
And try and get the kids to do it.
All right. Cool. We'll do the times tables.
Yeah.
Okay.
So up to 24. Why?
It's just something that we were told to say. Like, again, it's just information that I've been fed that I've just gone with.
They have under the desk 17 times tables. It's attached to the desk because it's still there.
Okay.
So I would say, when I did my class, we're going to do them together. Lift up the desk and I'd go. 1 times 17 is 17. 2 times 17 is 34.
Okay.
And so once we got about 4 into it, I'd say it's really easy. You add 20 and take 3, 34. Add 20, 54, take 3. 3 times 17 is 51. Add 20,
okay.
71, take 3, 68. So 4 times 17 is 68. And then I'd go really fast and I'd see who'd keep up with me.
All right. Well, we don't do times tables with our lessons. But I can.
It was a gap filler. It was something that I went,
yeah, okay.
Let's fill in the gap with this.
All right, no worries.
And then you'd have, every now and again, you'd have a smart-ass little kid just smash them out. And I'd go, well, you know what we do to smart children, don't we? I'll see you outside after class. And I would wave the cane around. The parents would laugh and the kid would go,
yeah.
Oh, it's a joke, Joyce.
Yeah, I do a similar thing. You don't need me to take you around to the back of the woodshed with the strap, do you?
I know.
And the parents are like, yes, take him.
Yes, well, they offer up husband. Husband's being naughty. Dad's being naughty. Yeah, really. And you see, you give Dad extra work because Dad wants to play.
Yeah.
I don't know where it came from that someone threatened a kid with a cane.
Yeah.
It's only if they offer up Dad. Dad is the naughty one. Is he now? Come on out here. Hands out, Dad. Dad would go. And I just hold up the cane and then take a photo and I go, now sit down. So it was a joke, you know.
Yeah, it got banned. It was there for a time with me, but I never used it on a kid. I just had it as a demonstration up the front.
Someone threatened a kid from Timor, and the kid had had experience with the cane before.
Right, yeah.
So this was the issue.
Yeah.
And the parents went, oh, I don't even think they were parents. I think they were foster parents. They said, absolutely not. This is not on. You know, you've given this kid psychological issues. He's already got them.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
Well, yeah, we've just had a particular teacher who got too strict into the strict role and made a lot of children cry, and they had to reprimand all of us about how we behave in a strict manner with the kids at the schoolhouse. So we have to turn it down and be more happy-go-lucky friendly. Which, you know, I've got that enough of that sense to be playful with that strict, but to know when to ease up on a kid and just be like, haha, we're pretending, let's do this, you know.
Yep.
But yeah, so we've had some altercations recently too, which have,
I don't know why. Why don't they just employ someone to just do teacher?
I don't know.
This is the role. You're going to be teacher, weekend teacher for EVs.
Yeah,
Up
they
you go.
should. Yeah, because the latest actor girls won't learn teacher. So,
it's part of the job.
And it's acting a role of a teacher. Yeah, so I'm
this
the only one.
It's happened with Zara's year level, and she said, no, we're not doing it.
Everyone since then has said, no, I'm the only one out of the actor girls.
How do you get away with that? This is the job. You signed the thing.
Yeah. Anyways.
Eloise would have gone, absolutely not, and set you up there.
Yeah.
I never tried it on. All right.
Right, so we'll do the times tables, right? Yes. Da, 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 da. Now, at this point, we would grade the work. Anybody who wants to send it in, you can do so. However, before I do formally dismiss the class today, I know that some of you children will have some questions on your mind. So please, if you would like to ask, now would be the time. And yes, anyone? No? Questions? Anyone?
So the questions would
Because I see you've chucked on a Q&A session at the end. Which I'm
do
happy
we
to
have any
do.
questions? So on your monitor, you will say, I noticed that Jenny Thompson is watching.
Yes.
So hello, Jenny. I also noticed that Katrina Hill has written, and we might just do that. If no one's
simulate some. Yeah.
we'll put some on
Yeah,
there.
pretend. Yeah.
Miss Hill has written, can you show us your counting to 17? Your times tables to 17. That's what Miss Hill has written.
Now, Miss Hill, I am the teacher and you are the student. Yes. Youth is the time to learn. So I will not be demonstrating as we have simply run out of time here today.
Oh, brilliant. Okay. Yeah, that's good.
How dare you have the audacity to ask a teacher to do something like that? Oh, improper.
So
Right.
this is how I know it. So we'll go back here to live stream. I'm going to end the stream. Yep, end it. And see this link here.
Yeah.